Sharon is over there. Hey, Bree, amputee. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kevin. Good to see you. Jared's back. Jared's going to be a special guest in September, everybody. Stay tuned. I'll talk about that a little bit. Hi, Van Gregory and Jeff and everybody. Welcome to Life Amplified. Hey, you're going to see we're at our tiny desk again. Studio stuff is behind us. We had a little bit of a change of plans here. You're going to see, hi, Crystal. Thank you. Texas is in the house. We've got lots of people in the house, and Canada's in the house too. A little bit of change of plans for today's session. So we're bringing back our tiny desk series that you all heard me talk about / complain about earlier this summer. I am manning the webinar for us. So please, I'm telling you all in advance, give me some grace because I will be doing my best to watch the chat and the waiting room as we go along. Tina Linger and I are tag teaming this conversation today. We're going to share our screen. We're going to tell you about a lot of things, but I'm also playing IT in the background. So please be patient with me. Welcome in. If you are new, hi, welcome to Life Amplified. If you are what we call our oldies, our recurring guests, welcome to you as well. I'm glad to see you all here for another session of Life Amplified. Some of our friends who have been here for a while are already getting us started in the chat with what I love to do, which is tell us where you're coming to us from and what the weather is like in your area. Whether you're watching us here live on Zoom, if you're watching us behind the screen on TikTok, or if you're watching our recording on YouTube, put in the chat where you're coming to us from and what the weather is like in your area. We'd love to know how far and wide Life Amplified goes. Someday we will be YouTube famous social media influencers and we'll make lots of money to pay for prosthetic devices. But in the meantime, I would just like to know where you all are coming to us from. We are coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You'll see a painting back there of a bridge. Amputee Aid is the host for Life Amplified. Amputee Aid is a 501c3 nonprofit located right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, serving folks all over the country with limb loss and limb difference, and by virtue of some of our friends we meet in Canada, also in Canada as well. We provide a lot of services here. Part of the work that we do is advocacy and education. That's what we're doing today with another session of Life Amplified. We meet every Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern time, right here live on Zoom and behind the scenes on TikTok. And we'd love to share information with all of you. I see we've got Toronto, beautiful. I bet it is. Bree's in Vegas. Hi, Bree. Good to see you. We've got Iowa in the house, Connecticut in the house, 76 and sunny. See, it's like perfect summer weather right now, right, guys? Texas, I know, is in the house. Oklahoma's in the house. Ohio, Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Everybody know that? Am I dating myself? Drew Carey show? Okay. All right. Y'all know. Okay. You can laugh with me. We try to keep it light and fun today. Minnesota's in the house. Red Oak, Texas in the house. We love our friends down in Texas. I saw Dallas Amputee Network on here for a little bit too. Hi to our friends in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Lovely to see all of you. Please keep sharing in the chat. Now, we do some introductory things every time we meet, and then we're going to start our conversation. So the first thing is tell us where you're coming to us from. Second thing is some reminders about our webinar. This is an open space for everyone, so we want to be mindful of that, okay? Which means when we're talking about conversations, let's keep it light, very detailed personal information. It's probably not something that you want to share live or on a recording, right? So please don't put your bank account information, social security number, detailed medical information, any of that. Not that any of you do that, but put your adult hat on for a moment. Just be mindful that we're sharing all this information publicly, and we are recording it. If you have a very personal question, we want to hear from you. Contact Amputee Aid separately. If you have our contact information, you know how to email, call, or text. If you don't, just email info@amputee-aid.com. We'd love to get to know you better, learn about your personal situation, and get you connected to resources and people who can help. All right. Second thing you all should know, as I alluded to, is we are recording our conversation. What this means for you is if you talk, which please do, we want questions today, okay? We want feedback today. And we want feedback long-term, which we'll talk about in a little bit with Miss Tina Linger. If you talk, though, the recording will capture your voice, and that will be shared out to our email group on Friday and posted to YouTube. The recording does not capture your videos or your emojis or your names, but it does capture your voice, so be aware of that. We would love to engage with you. I will do my best, along with Nick, who's behind the scenes for us. You'll see the Amputee Aid logo here in the Zoom room to monitor the chat, but this is a good time, since we're doing our Tiny Desk series, to also participate live. Just feel free to interrupt us, okay? It's okay to interrupt. This is a joint conversation, but if you want to be a little bit more polite, you can put a little emoji up on the Zoom bar at the bottom of your screen, type in a comment, and we'll try to get to as many of those as possible, okay? Third thing I want you all to know is our theme. We are wrapping up August's back to school theme. And today we are really going back to school. We're talking about school-based fundraising, okay? Tina Linger and I are going to talk to you about adopting amputee in a couple of minutes here. I want you to know up front that we are sharing this program with you because we want you to use it for yourself and for your groups. We are not gatekeeping it. We are very proud of this and what we've created at Amputee Aid. Give us credit, but if as we're talking or when we're done, if you think, you know what, I actually would like to try this with my own support group or share it with a group at church or the kids in my elementary school or the scouts down the street or a youth development program, let us know. We're going to give you the information for free, the curriculum for free, and then you can try it out with your own groups. That is one of our goals, okay? Now, on the topic of themes, Ms. Tina Linger, you are the finale for back to school, so no pressure, okay? Fitting, since you are also a retired educator and school employee, which we'll talk about in a minute. Next month, though, let me plant the seed for you all. For September, our theme is Hello Fall, Hello Friends. New speakers, people you've not heard from on Life Amplified. Jarrett will be with us in a couple of weeks. We're excited. We have some of our friends down in Texas. We have Leg Out Apparel coming. We have Limitless Wisconsin coming. And although I can't promise to do giveaways every time we meet, I am particularly excited about next week's giveaway. Let me just say, if you like fall food or football food, you're going to want to join us next Wednesday because we have a very special giveaway that we're doing next Wednesday. All right. So, but this one's good too. We did commit to doing giveaways all summer. So for this webinar, we are in honor of it being the end of summer and Labor Day coming up. We're doing an Americana t-shirt. Okay. Americana t-shirt, American flag t-shirt. Somebody will win this if you are live on Zoom. Because we are doing our Tiny Desk series, we're going to play the number game again. Okay. Oh, Bree, I saw in the chat. I'm tapping on TikTok Live. Yeah, thank you. Hi, Bree. Let me just say hi to Bree over here on the behind the scenes. Thank you, giving us our likes. Oh, we're almost at 200 likes. Hey, that's pretty good for us. See how many you can do, okay? All right. Thank you, Bree, for that. We're going to do the numbers game this session for our giveaway. I believe everyone can play that. If you have any dexterity issues or inability to type, could you please let me know? You can message on the side, shoot me a quick text real fast, but I'm pretty sure everyone who's involved here on Zoom can participate that way. And so near the end of the hour together, we're going to do the number game. If you haven't done that yet, I'll write down a number and then everybody starts typing in their guess. Whoever guesses the number first will win our giveaway. All right, so that's what we're going to do, but you got to be here until the end of the hour. All right, so we've talked about Amputee Aid. We've talked about our themes. We've introduced the fall theme. I've given you all some rules or policies to think about for our session. And now what I'd like to do is get us settled in, Ms. Tina Linger, to our topic for today, which is adopting amputee. Before we talk about adopting amputee, and what it is, I would love for you to introduce yourself. I venture to guess most people here know who you are, but for maybe some newbies or some folks watching us on YouTube or watching behind the scenes on TikTok, introduce yourself to all of us and tell us how you are connected to Adopt an Amputee.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I feel like I've been missing in action for a while. But some of you know, yesterday was week 5 of the flash flooding that hit here in my hometown. And that was the day I got my AC back. So yesterday was a good day.
Yay.
There's some normalcy coming back, so that's a good thing. But it was very devastating for the community. So But I jumped right into that. But if you don't know me, I'm a right above knee amputee. I live in West Virginia. And I became an amputee due to I survived Ewing sarcoma in 2011, but the radiation treatment and the chemotherapy caused several. I'd have osteomyelitis, open wounds wouldn't heal, and just several things. And so in 2023, my surgeon said, "I think it's best we amputate." So, and I'm actually healthier now than I was for those whole 12 years. So it was a good thing, but it's still challenging, as we all know.
Mhm.
Since that amputation, I've actually had 4 revisions. A week ago was the 4th one. So I'm not 100% today, so give me some grace, please. But I'm happy to be here, and I've missed everybody. And now I'm passionate about what we're going to talk about today, because I am a retired educator. I ended as a director in a school system for special education. I was school superintendent for a while, too political for me. and then I was the director before that as well. I taught at the college level, and then I was taught grades K through 8 in all various subjects. So, but education is definitely a passion for me. But what I really love about this curriculum is it's something that's needed. Our students are not, they're not getting taught some of the values, and I'm not blaming the school systems or anything. It's just some things are missing. And one of those is disability awareness. And that's right at the top of the list of this curriculum. It will also teach many other things, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's just a very worthwhile program. And I do work part-time with Jennifer on this, and she calls me the program coordinator or something like that. I don't know.
The queen. I also call you the queen when you're not around. The queen, Miss Tina Linger. Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I like that title.
Okay. I won't share that with anyone else then. All right.
Okay.
So Tina, let me give everyone kind of the big picture, and then I would like you to tell us what exactly Adopting Amputee is. So from the big picture perspective, everyone, Amputee Aid, as a nonprofit that's small but with a mighty mission, has 3 core services. The first is financial assistance. The second is social services and case management. The third is advocacy and outreach. That's where you all are right now with advocacy and outreach with our webinar. Financial assistance is a mammoth task, and I bet everybody here on our webinar and on TikTok and watching our YouTube, whether you are a nonprofit person, a volunteer, or someone with limb loss or limb difference, we all know how expensive the lifestyle is, right? And it's even more expensive when you have 200-ish people you are trying to help. So we started Adopting Amputee with the goal of figuring out a fun, creative way to raise money. That was the goal. How can we raise money? We need money, right? All hands on deck, so to speak. But we wanted to create a fundraiser that could be replicated all over the country, that could be adapted based on a small group, a big group, little kids, young adults in college, and everybody in between. And that would not just raise money for someone with limb loss or limb difference, but teach, right? We want to grow philanthropists, okay? Everyone can be a Dolly Parton, to be very timely about it. If you're wondering why my hair is extra big, I'm trying to do a Dolly Parton today. But she's a philanthropist, right? One of the many things that she did. We want to grow people as young adults to be, and littles to be philanthropists, but also to be aware of folks with disabilities, or as my grandmother would say, other abilities, and teach in the meantime, which is why Tina was so instrumental in joining this program from the education perspective. Okay, so that's the big picture, which is how can we raise money, but also how can we inspire people when they are younger to be philanthropists, to care about charity, and to care about other people. All right, so that's setting the stage. Tina, what is Adopt an Amputee?
Okay. Adopt an Amputee, like I said, it has several caveats to it and goals. But it is a curriculum that some of the questions we'll probably get after a bit, I'm just going to touch briefly on. Anybody could pick this up and use it. You don't have to have an education background. It's you can do it, without another teacher there because it's kind of self-driven. Some students, high school level and college level, could even, do a lot of this on their own because they would have that ability to do that. But it does so much. I guess I'll just say some of the things that I think that it promotes is empathy for others. I really think that's a big part of it. Leadership, because they're designing their own fundraiser and they have to come up with a plan for it. They have to work with the funds once they come in. They have to learn how to work as a team. So that's definitely all leadership skills. Creativity is a big part of it. They have to come up with their own mission, logo, the fundraiser, how they're going to advertise the fundraiser. So all of those things are so important. And those things, as we all know, are really not taught in school. And that's why we also say, though, youth organizations like Club Scouts and 4-H and Boys and Girls Club, all of those could also use this curriculum. It has a strong purpose behind it. And I think we actually piloted this with a group of students, and it was fun. It was fun because, they're having fun, they're learning. And just think about an amputee in your community that needs help. And if they get involved with this and they're chosen as the adopted amputee person, it's a win-win. It's just a win-win for everybody. And we all know we get questions, and that would be part of the process. We know kids can ask the darndest things and say the darndest things too. But it's just I think it's just a win-win all the way around.
Yeah. And so when we say curriculum, everyone, we truly mean it. We wrote a book. Okay? It has 10 modules in it. Each module covers a different topic, and one person or a group of people, whether you have a teacher or a guidance counselor or a troop leader or on your own, you can work through each module. And as you're working through each module, you create a fundraiser. And you do the fundraiser and you raise money for someone who is assigned to your fundraiser, an amputee in your community, or someone who's part of your nonprofit. Through the modules, though, the student or students also learn, right? They learn about disability awareness, money management, team management, how to create a logo, what's a cool fundraiser, what's not maybe a good fundraiser for you to use. So the kiddos are learning, or young adults are learning, but they're working through a book that we created. Right, Ms. Tina?
Yeah, and you made me think of something else I wanted to address. Even a lot of high school students now and college students have to do community service project. This fits that. It definitely fits that. So even if you have a child of your own or a grandchild or a neighbor that has to come up with an idea for that, this works. So it's something that just an individual could, with some help, could work through as well for that purpose.
Yes. I'm thinking of all of those people, and I wonder if you could maybe give us an emoji or put a yes in the chat if you know someone or a group where volunteer hours are required to graduate, right? This is a perfect opportunity to do that and do it in a way that is self-paced. All right. I want to show, so in addition to having the book, there are some videos that are part of the program, and I'll show you 2 of the videos in a moment. But Ms. Tina, there's also some lesson plans that we created. I'm not taking credit for this. I told you I called you a queen for a reason. Kind of created lesson plans. Okay, like literally, you don't have to be a teacher. You can use the lesson plans for each module and sound super smart, thanks to Ms. Tina, and work on the program. Right? There's lesson plans that go with it.
Yes, there is. Yes.
You even gave me some for today. Look, everybody. Look. This is why I love you. I got all the notes. You highlighted them and everything. All right. So it's literally, I don't want to say idiot proof, like as if that's a derogatory thing. It's foolproof. Okay. Maybe that's not even better. It's you don't have to be an educator to be able to guide a student or students or young adults through the program. We give you the book, the videos, and the lesson plans. And literally you can go right through the program at your own pace. What do you say we show one of the videos that we use to introduce the program and get littler kids interested in it? Is that okay with you, Ms. Tina?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Now, everyone, I started our webinar by saying I'm running the Zoom, so give me some grace. I'm about to attempt to share my screen with the audio. So let's see if Jennifer can do it on the first try. I will do my best. Okay, I see a thing that says share sound. All right, I see entire screen. We're just going to share the entire screen. So if you're watching live on Zoom.
Have you ever met someone who is missing part of an arm or a leg? They might be an amputee, or they might have been born with a limb difference. And guess what? That's just one part of who they are. People with limb differences can do so many amazing things, just like you. They play sports, climb playgrounds, draw pictures, dance, tell jokes, and make awesome friends. Sometimes they use tools called prosthetics, which are like special helpers that can act as an arm, a leg, a foot, or even a hand. Other times, they don't use anything at all. Everyone is different, and that's what makes the world interesting. You might notice someone moving in a different way, maybe hopping, rolling in a wheelchair, or using a cool robotic leg. If you're curious, it's okay to look and wonder. But remember, it's also important to be kind. People with limb differences want the same things we all want: to have fun, to be included, and to be treated with respect. You can help by inviting them to play, making space on the playground, or being a great friend who listens. And here's something really important. Having a limb difference doesn't stop someone from doing big things. Many amputees are athletes, artists, scientists, teachers, and superheroes in their own lives. They are moms, dads, grandparents, friends, people living in the same community as you. What matters most isn't the number of limbs someone has. It's the kindness they share, the courage they show, and the dreams they chase. So the next time you meet someone with a limb difference, remember, they're a person just like you. When we include everyone, we make our classrooms, playgrounds, and communities stronger and happier. Together, we can celebrate differences, be kind, and make sure everyone feels welcome, because everyone belongs.
All right, let me pause that one and we'll come back to our group again. And by the way, Bree, thank you. Bree's over here still liking the TikTok. Thank you very much for doing that for us. And hi to our folks who have joined us since we got started. I see some more groups here. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about Adopt an Amputee here, which is a school-based fundraiser that we want to share out so you can try it in your own area with your own nonprofits, your own groups, your own schools. And that is what we're talking about today. All right. So, Ms. Tina, what age range is this video geared toward?
I would say probably 3rd through 6th grade, or 3rd through 5th, because when we watch the other video, we'll know why. But this one is definitely more understandable for that age group.
Yeah. And now this video is something that the group, either the one person or however many people are doing the program, will watch their first day. It's kind of the introduction to what Adopt an Amputee is. Why are videos like this important?
I think it's something, well, we all watch TV or movie and we can associate with that, but it'll open up their eyes and awareness, because some of them would not know some of those things that are on those videos. So it actually just creates an awareness right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In a way, for this age range, that's more palatable, I would say, not scary, not unnerving to a littler group. It's more about being kind and aware and open to folks who have limb loss or limb difference. And really the goal here, and hopefully some of you felt this, like a good, warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart. That's part of the goal, right? Is to get littles to think, oh, this is something I'm interested in doing. What we found when we tested this out here locally in Pittsburgh is that high school kids were actually very interested in helping someone with limb loss or limb difference. Like, surprisingly motivated. And I wasn't quite sure, especially with graduating seniors, how motivated they would be. But, they would see us on the street. Oh, that's the adopting amputee girl. That's what they would call me. They don't know my name. That's fine. They can call me whatever they want so long as they're doing their fundraiser. But we saw that when they get connected visually with the movement, they're more likely to engage in the fundraiser and actually learn and enjoy from it as well. Is that right, Tina?
Yes, and they did. They were they asked good questions. They came up with very good fundraising ideas.
Yeah.
And even the different modules were about leadership and teamwork and all of that. They were into it. I was impressed at that age level, like you said, especially the second semester of school because they were seniors.
Exactly. Senioritis sets in hard. And in a little bit, we'll share with you all about some of the fundraising ideas that the kids had and maybe other kids in your area might try. But before we do that, I want to show you the older kid and young adult version of this video that we also recommend is shared at the beginning of the curriculum to get that age range interested in the movement and why this program matters. So let's see if that second time around I can share my screen correctly. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right, sharing the sound, sharing the entire screen. Sorry, you're going to see multiples of you all. Okay, you should see my YouTube page still. Let's go back over here. Again, oh, look, those podcasts I just mentioned, everyone. We got Clarence, we've got Dallas CPT Network, we've got, that's our travel one in here. We got Greg in here a couple of times as well. Make sure you go share those podcasts out, all right? Let's look at the older version of this video. If I can get it. Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right, so this video down here is the one that we show to our older kids and young adults, if I can get to it. Hold on. And it will be quiet for a moment. I want to take you there in the midnight. I can feel your love just like I want to take you there. So everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and the audience mine.
You are driving to work listening to your favorite podcast when suddenly you hear a loud screech and realize you're about to be in a terrible accident. It's a blur. When the moment ends, you finally come to a stop, you realize your leg is crushed and you are in agonizing pain. Paramedics are on the scene in moments. They put an oxygen mask on you to help prevent shock. You finally feel relief. You were given a shot of morphine and you pass out. You awake in a hospital surrounded by your loved ones. How much time has passed? The doctor has a very serious look on his face. He looks exhausted. They inform you that they performed surgery on your leg and believe you have a 10% chance of saving the leg. Even with the shock of the news, you realize your life will never be the same. Reality is setting in. Amputation is a very serious conversation. You have many questions. Will I ever be back to normal? Will I be able to run? Will it hurt? Will my friends think less of me? How long will I be in the hospital? What about my job? Will I get fired? Can I even do my job? What kind of prosthetic am I going to need? I don't even understand how my leg sits in a socket. Won't that hurt? Oh my God, is my insurance even going to cover all of this? How will I shower? Can I swim? Where do I get answers? I don't even know anyone who's been through this. I realize I'm crying. Trying to remember the last time I cried. Probably when my dog passed away. Do you really mourn the loss of your leg? I don't know. I just want my life back. This is a short story of somebody else's path. Everybody has a different path of how they came to be an amputee. Whether it's before amputation, immediately after amputation, or it's life with an amputation, you have many things that are going through your head. Mental health, physical health, the cost of maintenance, the comfort of your fit, driving with one leg, showering, work-life balance. These are all things we can address on our weekly webinar and allow us to help you navigate your questions and get you back to normal. Hear from real people like you with real advice. Life can be extraordinary with the right information, and Amputee Aid can help.
All right. So, Ms. Tina, that video is geared toward an older audience. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, probably all of us, we know what that feels like. And that when we talk about how's this going to change your life, and you talk about insurance and the medical part of it, that's just a little bit too much for like grades 3 through 5, and maybe even 6, 7. Just it depends on the maturity of the child. But we showed this to high school students, and they paid attention. They asked good questions. And I think like I said, it's a good way to open up everything and say, this is why we need to help these amputees that are in need, because not everybody has good health insurance. Not everybody can get a prosthetic like they deserve. So that's why this is more for the older students.
Right. And so in addition to this video, we have captured in our lesson plans all different kinds of videos that talk about things like philanthropy. What can you give? Time, talent, treasures, leadership skills. So having gone through this program locally in Pittsburgh, we've captured little videos in a lesson plan that you can use, or someone that you're recommending this program to can use to learn. So students or club members or youth group members can learn both by doing, by watching, by listening, by writing. I'm going to try to use an educated term. It's multimodal learning. Am I right about that? Am I right? Okay. Multimodal learning. Okay. I'm going to share my screen one more time because I want to show you all what the book looks like, at least a table of contents. So you can see when we say we wrote a book, we mean we wrote a book. Okay. And if you want to use this with your own group, we will give it to you for free. You all know I love free dollars, free 99. We'll give it to you, but let me show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to put the content up there. So Ms. Tina, you can talk to us a little bit more about how the modules work and then like who teaches this. Okay. So let's see if we can do third time's a charm on sharing the screen. Somebody's laughing at my free 99. That was brief. Feel free to use that. That's one of my favorite terms. All right. So here is, if y'all can see my screen here, I've shown you, we call it right now, it's called Ability Amplified. And it is a whole on book. Here, I'll scroll so you can see. Look, there's content for kiddos to read. There's little assignments for them to do. There's graphics in there, modules, why I give. They can fill out essays, assignments. There's videos and connection links in here, all kinds of things. Okay. But I'll pull up the curriculum first, the table of contents. So you can see when we say that there are 10 modules, each one goes through a different topic and marches toward creating and executing a fundraiser, right? So it starts with why adopt an amputee, the importance of volunteering and philanthropy, disability awareness, do's and don'ts on fundraising, leadership and teamwork, money management, and then all the way down to promoting your fundraiser, taking action, and then celebrating and debriefing. Okay. As we're looking at the table of contents there, kind of do you have to be a teacher to?
Oh, someone's coming through the door. Hang on a minute.
Oh, okay. I was hoping I was hoping that we get a guest appearance by one of Miss Tina's dogs. Usually we see a dog. No offense. So while we're waiting for her to join us again, I'll tell you a little bit about the book itself. This took about 8 months to create. We broke it down into separate modules, wrote each module, shared it amongst ourselves, asked Tina for her input, got some feedback from community members, and also edited the book after we had feedback from our first 2 groups who went through the program. Okay. It took a lot of time and love, but we will not charge you for it. If you want it now or in the future to use, if you send us a quick email, we'll send it to you and you can try it out. Okay. You might even consider trying it out yourself or with an adult group before you recommend it to kiddos. That would be up to you. We can take out portions related to amputee aid because although it's important to us that you give us credit, don't go selling this to Amazon as your own product, okay? But you're not raising money for amputee aid. We want you to raise money for your own groups and for folks local to you, okay? So take credit for all of the work. Just make sure amputee aid shows up somewhere else when it created the book. Everybody get my drift there? While we're waiting for Ms. Tina to come back, I'll also say a point about teaching, although we call this a curriculum and teaching, we don't want to limit folks to thinking you have to have a teacher teaching this in class. We tried to make it as simple as possible, which is why we have lesson plans created where you as a responsible adult can lead a younger group. Older students can do this as a self-guided curriculum at their own pace. A youth group at a church or a club scout might do modules together over a certain number of weeks. It's really supposed to be flexible both in time as well as who the leader is, if any. Is that right, Tina?
Yes, you're right. Whatever you said. Because
Okay. Hey. Well, so let me pitch the question back to you, and we'll see if your question matches mine. Otherwise, we got a problem. My question was, do you have to be a teacher? Do you have to have a teacher lead this group?
No, you do not.
Okay.
It's adaptable, flexible. Like she showed you, it's a manual, a book, a resource. And the other thing I wanted to offer this a while ago is if you get this and you decide to use it and you have a question, I'm willing to help.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I thought I told everybody that I knew not to come between this time, but of course, that was my sister of all people.
Of course. And then there's our dog. See, I was hoping we'd get an appearance by our co-host. Hi. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that is a good point to bring up those that you don't have to have a teacher. It does not have to be in a school at all. If you know another group or maybe someone who's working toward a merit badge in a Club Scouts or just wants to be a good person, right? A good philanthropist, this can be used. I threw up just one of the screens here. What is philanthropy and why does it matter? Because part of the curriculum also teaches and breaks down those more harder concepts. What we found is that some of the kids who started this program did not know what philanthropy was. From an adult perspective, we hear that word, right? So we try to break down the concepts in a way that's simple so that they learn things in addition to disability awareness, although that is a part of this. We even talk about person first language, right? The ripple effect of giving, why youth volunteers matter. Like I said, there's little assignments in here that you can do, all kinds of fun things in here so that kiddos and young adults are learning as they are creating a fundraiser. So, Ms. Tina, on that topic, I wanted to share a little bit about the types of fundraisers that kids, I say kids because everybody who's under 40 is a kid to me, but anyone doing this can do. So in our kind of trial period, we had a lot of ideas. Can you share with the group some of the types of fundraisers that can be created while groups or individuals are working through this curriculum?
Yeah, some of these are things that actually the students came up with, but I want to go a little bit outside of that box too, so that you can understand why it would work for youth groups as well. So they wanted to do a fashion show and actually have amputees model the clothes. That was one of them. And I thought that's a great idea. A talent show was another one they mentioned. They were, I think one of the ones they finalized, one group was to get local businesses to donate items to sell at like school events. And then they would make money off of that. And they actually got one that was going to just donate and let them do that. And then the other group wanted to use, I just lost it. What's the name of the company you used
Oh, print your
merchandise?
cause to
Yes.
create T-shirts, sell T-shirts.
Yeah, and they were going to create they wanted I forget what they're called. I call them toboggans. They're called beanies or something. And sweatshirts, all the things kids like. And they were wanting to design what they wanted on that. Now, it could be as simple as a bake sale. It could be car washes, community yard sales is something that I've thought about. Schools love spirit weeks. They could have spirit days and everybody gives a dime for participating that day, however much they want to do that. Because when I was an educator at the middle school, high school level, that made a lot of money. And I'm going to, I guess, say this about, I won best leg teacher. And I thought it was legs then, it would be leg now. But anyway.
That is so funny. I saw a question in the chat, and then I want to go back to some other fundraising ideas. How do you obtain this program? Kevin, I'm going to put my email address in here. Just email me. We'll send it out to you. Okay. I put my email address in there for everyone joining us live on Zoom. We will also share the contact information when we send out our recording on Friday and when we post our recording to YouTube. It'll be in the comments. So if you're watching on YouTube, look at the comments down below. In the curriculum, we also make suggestions for kinds of fundraisers. So there's, right, as you had mentioned, car washes, bake sales, run walks, if that's something that they want to do. One of the groups wanted to do a block party, right? So a small entrance fee, and you can have music and food and snacks. Really, the sky is a limit. And one of the beauties about adopting an amputee is it can be a very small, hyper-local fundraiser, like one day selling cookies. Or it can be a big thing, right? It could be a 5K. If you have a group that wants to put time into it, they can do a big fundraiser. And that is why I want to go back and talk about the model and the timing of it. The modules, although there's 10 of them, they are not timed. So groups can take however long they have or want. For a small fundraiser, they might go through the modules pretty quickly. If this is a semester-long project for an older person who is creating a giant 5K at the end of it, they could take time, right, Tina? That's that's kind of built in the flexibility.
Yes, that's the beauty of some of it, that they can spend as much time as they want to or need to.
Yeah. Now you had made a recommendation for, although how groups work through this is up to them. It can be self-paced, it could be all teacher-led. You had used a term hybrid model as kind of like a recommended model. Could you tell us more about what that is and why you recommend it?
So a hybrid model, I'm trying to find my notes where I talked about that, so I make sure, like I said, I'm scattered today.
No, it's okay.
Oh dear, I'm not seeing it right now. But hybrid is exactly that. It could be in person and virtual. It could be, because we actually did some virtual classes with those high school students when things were happening in the school or whatever, and then we met with them in person. So hybrid is just what works best for you, a mixture of whatever works best. One-on-one, small group, you just meet with certain groups instead of the whole group, everybody that's involved. It's just what works best. Yeah.
And really, I mean it when I say the sky is the limit as far as timing and type of fundraiser. That's one of the beauties, is it's not a mandatory 5K or a mandatory bake sale. The curriculum is designed so that a person working on it can create a fundraiser that's meaningful to them, right? Whether it's a dress-up day, talent show, block party, all of the things that we had, T-shirt sales, the things that we had just referenced. One of the other things, Tina, you had referenced when we introduced this to our pilot group here in Pittsburgh is that there was no such thing as the perfect fundraiser. There's no right or wrong answer. It's what's meaningful to them, right?
Right.
All right. So in the time that we have left, I want to switch over to one of the more unique aspects of adopting an amputee, and that is the ability to match the fundraiser with an actual person who would benefit. Okay, it's not a requirement, everyone. And for some of the groups who will try this, you might want to keep your client confidential, or maybe your client prefers to remain confidential for comfort levels or any other number of things. So it's not required that you expose an amputee to the actual group, but it is highly recommended if you have someone who's willing to share their story. So Tina, tell me about that. Why is that important to adopt an amputee?
I associate it with when I became an amputee. I didn't know any amputees.
Mhm.
And I would, maybe see them, bypass them at physical therapy. That was it. But when the first time I was face to face in a setting with other amputees, I was like, these are my people. They get it. And Van, you were there. So, that's exactly how I felt. And that would help whoever is involved in the fundraising activity to actually see it, to see what life as an amputee is like, to ask questions that they may want to ask, because I know all of us would be willing to answer those to the best of our knowledge. But like Jennifer said, you want to make sure that if you have someone in mind, that they're willing to do that, because some people may not be comfortable doing that either. But I think it's just, you're seeing it live in front of you, and they can see the challenges, they can see the progress, they can see, what you're up against and all of those things. So.
Yeah. One thing we found is that for students who have never been exposed to someone with limb loss or limb difference, they tend to not understand two things. Number one, the extent of it, right? How expensive and how life-changing limb loss or limb difference is. But they also tended to not realize that limb loss can happen to anybody at any time, right? And that's one of the reasons we showed that adult video is we want students to understand it takes one car accident, one infection, and you could also be someone with limb loss, because there tends to be, and this is not a criticism of young people, I think it's just the nature of life, unfortunately, is unless it's staring you in the face, you don't realize how quickly it could happen. I know I'm preaching to the choir right now for all of our people attending live. So that is another reason that we want to expose, if it's possible, to match someone with the group doing the fundraiser, or the student doing the fundraiser, or the adult doing the fundraiser. If they can be matched and hear that story, it makes it more real, because it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And by the way, I've been watching Bree got us up to 3.7 thousand likes on TikTok. Thank you for that. I know you're over there tapping. I see your name keep going over here on the side of the screen. Thank you very much. She's single. She's going to make us TikTok famous on her own. Thank you very much.
She's the TikTok queen.
I can't pay you anything, but I can say a lot of thank yous and maybe send you like a sticker. All right. So in the time that we have left, I want to make sure that we answer any questions. So if you have questions about this, please let us know. We'll watch them in the chat, but just interrupt us. We're here to answer your questions. But on that point, Tina, I think would be a good way to wrap up is, where we started, which is the cost of care is so expensive, right? Talk to me about that. That is the focus of adopting amputee, is that money goes 100% to the person, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We all know, even sometimes amputees have trouble getting gas, money for gas to go to all the appointments that we have to go to.
Yeah.
So it could be a gas card. We all know that shower chair that we have isn't going to last forever. There's all these things that we have to keep, re-getting, or maybe it didn't work right and you've got to find something that does work right. It's not just the insurance things. That's the nice thing about this. It could be just the other resources that can help them as an amputee.
Exactly. Yes. And on that point, the curriculum is also designed so that there is no such thing as failing to meet your goal, okay? Because the goal is raise some money. Now, some groups might be able to raise $50,000 for an above knee amputee's new leg and knee and ankle and all the things. That would be amazing. But even smaller groups that are raising $20, $30 or less, they can also contribute to that person they're matched with, as Tina had mentioned, with a gas card, with help toward a copay, with some medications, with some more manageable supplies from the amputee store or something like that. So it's built in to be successful for the people doing it, and that is on purpose. We don't want someone or a group to go through the curriculum and feel like they didn't meet their goal. So the goal itself is also flexible and meant to be adjustable based on the person or the group that's doing the curriculum. Am I right about that?
Yes, yes. And we've also said that, if the fundraiser is just a gas card or whatever, that amputee then has access to amputee aid because they know that's where that curriculum came from.
Exactly right. Yes. Yes. So you can give us credit. If you want to take this and you have a full functioning nonprofit and can provide all the other services, amazing. Do that. Okay. Just give us a little bit of credit. Okay. But you're not paying us anything for this. But, or if you don't have that kind of support and you're looking for that support, you can always refer them back to us to get connected to resources. Great, great point. Christy, I saw your comment in the chat. Connect with us so we can help you on that. Okay. All right. So in the time that we have left, I'm wondering if I saw a couple people in the chat saying that they were interested in this and getting the curriculum. Anybody else think like I would kind of maybe want to see the curriculum and maybe try this out or recommend it to somebody in my area? Anybody interested? Anybody not interested at all?
Okay.
Okay. I don't see anyone saying no.
You wanted answers about what I put on. I'm having issues with
Christy.
Hi. I'm having issues what I wrote down. I'm having issues with my insurance. My safe ride. I'm out of ride, so they switched me to my other Nebraska Total Care MTM rides transportation, and I had to cancel at least 5 times with my physical therapy because no transportation in my area, which is bull. And today I was supposed to go to Omaha, Nebraska, or Omaha for my prosthetic appointment, but my Care One called back and said they broke down, and they said so sorry, and I called MTM and said, what's going on? Well, you should have called me and tell them and we could have got you another ride. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So now I know that next time. So I have another appointment September 2nd to go to Omaha Limp Lab. But it's like, really,
Sounds
August, I had to cancel 5 times with MTM with physical therapy. My physical therapy people understand. I'm like, really? It's like they live there in Omaha. It's an hour.
That sounds really rough.
It's an hour to get me.
It also sounds like it's hard when you're missing that many sessions. What I'm going to suggest is, can I contact you after our webinar so we can work on this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And then we're not sharing your business with everybody else. But
you're fine.
It's fixable. We fixed it once.
I understand.
We'll fix it again, okay? No, I want to help.
Fine.
We can help you with this, okay?
You're fine.
But you're bringing up a good point, though, which is the issue of rides. For a fundraiser, gas cards matter, right? So for littler groups or little kids, they don't have to set their goal that I want to buy a leg for somebody. Their goal can be, I want to get some fuel cards so that folks like Christy don't have to worry about, do I have gas money or a ride to get to physical therapy? All of that matters. So I hope you're okay with me using you as an example, Christy, but
you're fine. You're fine.
You're making a good point for adopting the amputee.
You're fine.
All right. I see some other folks in the chat here about, crazy hat days, clothing days. Those are all kinds of things that can happen with this curriculum. So, all right, in the time that we have left, if you want the curriculum to take a look and see if it's appropriate for your own nonprofit, your own support group, somebody in your area, email me, Jennifer@amputee-aid.com, and we'll share it with you. And it does not cost you anything. Okay. And hopefully we've given you some ideas of some ways that you can fundraise for your own organizations and people you know in a way that's fun and engaging and also teaches. And that was the goal. So Tina, do you have any other kind of closing comments as we end our discussion about back to school, literally back to school, and switch over to our giveaway today? Any final words from you?
I just want to reiterate that if you decide to try the curriculum, you're not on your own. I mean, I will help. Jennifer will help if you run into any questions or want to work through something, because it's just a win-win for anybody that's involved. So we're here to guide you, support you, whatever you need.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, all the beautiful lesson plans, all the videos, all the links are almost a year really of work product, free for you to try out. Okay, and give us your feedback. This is a work in progress. So if you try this out and you have an idea for making an edit or changing something, as we did with our first groups here in Pittsburgh, let us know, because we would like to know that. But we hope maybe this is a fun way to help you all raise some money for a group, people with limb loss or limb difference in your area. All right. So that brings us to the end of our back to school series for August. So literally back to school. And thank you, Tina, for being our guest speaker today. I'm so happy to see your face and have you back.
Everybody.
Next week, we are kicking off Hello Fall, Hello Friends as our theme for September. All new people, all new friends, guest speakers, topics, things for you to learn about, including Jarrett, who's with us today, Limitless Wisconsin, a super cool giveaway next Wednesday, Leg Out Apparel. We've got all kinds of things coming up in September. So please continue joining us every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time right here on Zoom or on TikTok. 5.8 thousand likes by Bree. Okay, stop that, because now you're going to need to get on the number game over here and see if you could win a giveaway. But thank you for that. I think that's the most ones that I see. Van Gregory's in here too. Oh, more people are joining TikTok. I love it. Thank you. All right, so let's get ready for our giveaway to close out our summer fun series. And we're going to do the number game. I did not see anybody in the, oh, thank you, April, for saying that. Thank you for joining us. I did not see anybody indicate that they have dexterity issues or an inability to participate this way. So I think we're okay to go. So I'm going to write down a number on my handy dandy orange awareness color notebook. And in a moment here, you're all going to start typing. Whoever guesses the number first will be the winner. Okay. So, all right. So the number is a number between 1 and 20. Start typing between 1 and 20. Keep going, keep going. Stop. Okay, stop. Somebody already got it. Okay, the number on our roll, this is really tiny. Hopefully you can see it. It says 13. Okay, that's the number. All right, let me see. Let me scroll through the chat. I believe I saw 13 in here. Mr. Luna, I think it was you. Let me just double check here. It was 13. Congratulations. You won our Labor Day t-shirt. I'll connect with you separately and make sure I've got the correct mailing address for you and send that out. But as I said, although we will try to do giveaways as much as possible, if you like football and fall foods, come back next Wednesday, because we have a really cool giveaway from a new donor to us, and I'm excited about. All right. So until next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Zoom and TikTok. Tina, thank you for closing out our back to school series and sharing all this information about adopting amputee. We hope we've inspired all of you to at least take our fundraiser and use it for free. Just give us some credit. All right. And we hope that you take care of yourself, that you have a beautiful end of the week, a lovely beginning of next week, and that you join us right back here next Wednesday with Limitless Wisconsin. Hello Fall, Hello Friends series kicks off next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Remember, together we can restore hope and reclaim lives. Take care, everyone.